In the intricate dance between the mind and reality, a profound truth emerges. Our inner landscapes dictate the outcomes we experience in the external world. The question is not whether prosperity, opportunities, and abundance are available to us, but rather how we align our internal systems to receive them. The power of the mind, when properly harnessed, becomes an unstoppable force, capable of transforming not just our thoughts, but the very structure of our lives. This concept is explored through the lens of spiritual neuroscience, where the brain's vast potential for rewiring and growth meets the ancient wisdom of spiritual principles. The key lies in understanding that the brain is not a static organ. It is a dynamic, ever-evolving network of neurons that respond to stimuli, emotions, and experiences. The brain's plasticity, its ability to change throughout life, offers an incredible opportunity for personal transformation. But this transformation is not about a simple desire for change. It's about a deep, systematic reprogramming of beliefs, emotions, and patterns that have been ingrained over time. The protocol we will delve into is not a quick fix, but a methodical, ongoing process of alignment. It involves combining cutting-edge neuroscience with timeless spiritual practices to rewire the subconscious, attract the opportunities that align with our highest purpose, and cultivate lasting prosperity. The journey we're about to embark on is one of deep exploration and intentional action. It requires you to step into your power, not as a passive observer, but as an active participant in the unfolding of your life. Through this protocol, you'll learn not only to manifest abundance, but to sustain it, to become a master of your internal state, and to create a life that reflects the immense potential within you. It's time to tap into the strength of your mind, elevate your vibration, and align yourself with the prosperity that's already within reach. Prosperity is often seen as something external, a force that arrives when the timing is right or when one is lucky enough to encounter the right opportunities. However, the truth is that prosperity, like all things in life, begins within. The mind holds the key to unlocking the gates of abundance, but it must first be prepared for the journey. The brain's structure, influenced by our beliefs, thoughts, and emotions, shapes how we interact with the world around us. Therefore, the process of creating lasting prosperity starts with rewiring the very thought patterns that have been ingrained in our subconscious over the years. Our beliefs form the foundation of how we see the world. If we have grown up in environments where scarcity was a predominant theme, where fear of failure and financial limitations were constantly reinforced, then it is no surprise that prosperity feels like an elusive goal. Our minds have been conditioned to see obstacles where there should be opportunities, to expect lack where there should be abundance. These deeply embedded beliefs act as barriers, preventing us from seeing the full spectrum of possibilities that surround us. The first step in transforming our relationship with prosperity is identifying and understanding these beliefs. This requires a deep introspection into the narratives we have constructed over time. Why do we think the way we do about money, success, and abundance? Are we carrying generational fears of financial instability or personal limitations? Are we subconsciously sabotaging our own success because we fear the unknown or believe that prosperity is for others but not for us? Once these limiting beliefs are brought into the light of awareness, the real work of transformation can begin. Spiritual neuroscience teaches us that the brain's neural pathways are not fixed. They are flexible, adaptable, and capable of being reshaped. The process of reprogramming our subconscious involves not just a change in thought, but a recalibration of the brain's emotional response to these thoughts. This is where spiritual practices and neuroscience merge. By consciously shifting our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can rewire the brain to form new pathways that align with abundance and success. One of the most powerful tools in this process is the concept of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that even though we may have carried limiting beliefs for years, it is possible to create new neural pathways that support prosperity. But this doesn't happen overnight. Rewiring the mind takes time, patience, and consistent effort. The key to this rewiring process is repetition. Just as negative beliefs about money and success were reinforced over time, positive beliefs must be repeated consistently to take root. This is why affirmations, visualization, and mindfulness practices are so effective. They serve as daily tools to reprogram the brain, and replace the old limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. By repeatedly visualizing ourselves living in abundance, by affirming our worth and our ability to succeed, we are gradually training the brain to recognize these thoughts as truth. However, this process is not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's also about feeling them. Emotions play a crucial role in this reprogramming. The brain responds not only to what we think, but also to how we feel about those thoughts. This is where the emotional aspect of prosperity comes into play. When we associate positive emotions with thoughts of abundance, feelings of joy, gratitude, and excitement, we create a powerful feedback loop that accelerates the reprogramming process. The brain begins to remember these positive emotions, and over time, these emotions become more deeply embedded in the subconscious mind. An important aspect of this journey is understanding that prosperity is not just about financial gain. It encompasses all areas of life: relationships, health, career, and personal fulfillment. Prosperity is the state of being in which we are aligned with the flow of abundance in all aspects of our lives. This holistic view of prosperity is essential to the reprogramming process because it encourages a broader, more expansive perspective. When we begin to see prosperity as a universal energy that flows through all areas of our lives, we are better able to recognize and receive the opportunities that come our way. In the process of rewiring our minds, we must also confront and overcome the fear of success. This may sound counterintuitive. After all, who fears success? But the truth is that many people subconsciously resist success because it represents change. Success often requires stepping outside of our comfort zones, making bold decisions, and embracing new challenges. For some, the fear of failure is coupled with a fear of success because it brings with it the fear of the unknown and the responsibility of maintaining that success. To overcome this fear, we must first acknowledge its presence. Understanding that fear is a natural part of the growth process allows us to move through it rather than be controlled by it. We can begin to reframe our perception of success as a positive force, one that is meant to elevate us rather than overwhelm us. By embracing success and allowing ourselves to step into it with confidence, we create a new pathway in the brain that is aligned with our highest potential. As we continue this process of rewiring our brains and reprogramming our beliefs, we must remain committed to the work. Success in reprogramming the mind is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong practice. The more we engage in practices that reinforce our new beliefs and emotions, the more our brain will adapt to these changes. Over time, we will find that prosperity becomes not just a goal to achieve, but a natural state of being that we embody effortlessly. This journey of transformation is deeply personal yet universal. It is a journey of aligning the mind, body, and spirit with the energy of abundance. As we step into this work, we not only change our own lives, but we contribute to the collective shift toward a world that recognizes and embraces the infinite potential of every individual. In the end, prosperity is not just about what we have, but about who we become in the process of creating it. Our beliefs are the hidden architects of our reality. They are not just thoughts that pass fleetingly through our minds. They are deep-rooted truths that shape how we perceive the world and ourselves. The thoughts we believe to be true determine the patterns of our behavior, the choices we make, and the actions we take or avoid taking. The powerful connection between belief and behavior is something that we can harness in the pursuit of prosperity and success. But to access this power, we must first understand how our beliefs are formed and how they influence our lives. At the heart of this process lies the subconscious mind, the reservoir of all our experiences, memories, and deeply ingrained beliefs. Unlike the conscious mind, which is aware of thoughts and decisions in the present moment, the subconscious mind operates quietly in the background, controlling automatic functions such as our emotions, habits, and perceptions. It is here within the subconscious that our most influential beliefs are formed and maintained. These beliefs can either serve us or limit us. If we believe that success is out of our reach, that abundance is reserved for others, or that failure is inevitable, these beliefs will manifest in our actions and behaviors. They will shape the way we approach opportunities, how we handle setbacks, and how we see ourselves in the world. We may not even be aware of these beliefs, but their influence is undeniable. The subconscious mind works tirelessly, constantly reaffirming and reinforcing these deeply held beliefs, ensuring they continue to shape our reality. This is where the concept of neuroplasticity becomes critical. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. In other words, the brain has the remarkable ability to change and adapt, even as we age. This gives us the power to change our beliefs and, in turn, change our lives. However, this is not an instantaneous process. It requires intentional effort and consistent practice. Just as negative beliefs have been ingrained over years of reinforcement, new, empowering beliefs must be formed through repetition, emotional engagement, and conscious focus. One of the most effective ways to reprogram the subconscious mind is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that challenge and replace limiting beliefs. When repeated consistently, these statements begin to take root in the subconscious mind, shifting the neural pathways associated with those beliefs. The key here is to phrase affirmations in a way that feels real and empowering. Instead of simply stating, "I am successful," it is more effective to say something like, "I am confidently taking the steps necessary to achieve my goals, and I am attracting opportunities to support my success." This affirmation not only declares success, but also focuses on the process, the action, and the alignment with the universe. Another powerful tool for shifting beliefs is visualization. Visualization involves imagining yourself already living the life you desire, seeing yourself succeeding in your goals, and feeling the emotions associated with that success. This exercise works by creating vivid, sensory-rich experiences in the brain that simulate actual events. The brain does not distinguish between real experiences and those vividly imagined, which is why visualization is so effective at rewiring the subconscious. By repeatedly visualizing success and abundance, you are training the brain to recognize and expect these experiences as part of your reality. Visualization can be further enhanced by combining it with emotional engagement. Emotions play a significant role in belief formation. The more strongly we feel about something, the more likely it is to imprint on the subconscious mind. When you visualize success, try to evoke the emotions that would naturally accompany that success: joy, gratitude, excitement. This emotional connection reinforces the neural pathways associated with those positive outcomes, making them more likely to manifest in your life. While affirmations and visualization are powerful tools, they must be paired with consistent action. Beliefs are not only shaped by thoughts and emotions, they are also reinforced by the actions we take in alignment with those beliefs. If we believe we are worthy of success, but our actions don't reflect that belief, such as avoiding opportunities, procrastinating, or not investing in ourselves, our beliefs will not change. Action is the bridge between the mind's vision and the reality it creates. When we take steps that align with our beliefs, we send a clear signal to the brain that these beliefs are valid and worth supporting. The process of shifting beliefs also requires patience. Changing long-standing beliefs takes time, as the neural pathways associated with old beliefs are deeply ingrained. This process cannot be rushed. The key is consistency. Even if progress feels slow at times, trust that every affirmation, every visualization, and every small action is contributing to the larger shift. Over time, these small efforts compound, and the subconscious mind begins to accept the new beliefs as truth. This leads to lasting change and transformation. An important aspect of belief transformation is self-compassion. As we work to reprogram our minds, it is essential to approach the process with kindness and patience, both toward ourselves and others. Negative beliefs often stem from past experiences or societal conditioning that taught us to doubt our worth or capabilities. By offering ourselves compassion and understanding, we create a safe space for growth and healing. This self-compassion allows us to release the shame and guilt that may accompany past failures or limiting beliefs, enabling us to move forward with greater confidence and clarity. In addition to affirmations, visualization, and action, there are other tools that can aid in the belief-shifting process. Mindfulness is one such tool. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, observing thoughts and emotions without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of the limiting beliefs that arise and take conscious steps to challenge and replace them. The practice of mindfulness allows us to break free from autopilot thinking and start actively choosing the thoughts and beliefs that serve us. As we continue to reprogram our subconscious mind, we begin to notice a shift in our external reality. Opportunities will begin to appear where there once seemed to be none. Doors will open, relationships will flourish, and success will no longer feel out of reach. The key to lasting prosperity is not about seeking external validation, but about cultivating the inner belief that we are worthy of all the abundance the universe has to offer. By taking the time to identify and reprogram limiting beliefs, we create the foundation for lasting transformation. The process of shifting beliefs is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice that evolves as we grow. With each step, we are not only transforming our minds, but also the reality we experience. Prosperity becomes a natural extension of who we are, and as we continue to align our beliefs, thoughts, and actions, we open the door to limitless possibilities. Emotions are not merely reactions to external events. They are potent forces that shape our reality. The human brain is wired to seek out patterns, and emotions are at the heart of these patterns. Every experience, interaction, and belief is filtered through the emotional lens we carry. This is especially true when it comes to the manifestation of prosperity and abundance. Emotions have a direct impact on our ability to attract what we desire. They act as the energetic fuel that either propels us toward our goals or creates resistance that keeps us stuck in the same cycles of scarcity. The key to unlocking prosperity lies not only in changing our thoughts and beliefs, but in learning how to master our emotional state. When we operate from a place of fear, scarcity, or lack, we emit a frequency that repels abundance. On the other hand, when we align our emotions with the energy of prosperity, through gratitude, joy, and excitement, we begin to shift our internal state to one that is open to receiving the opportunities that are already present in our lives. At the core of this emotional mastery is the concept of emotional frequency. Just as our thoughts carry a certain energy, so do our emotions. This energy is measurable. It creates vibrations that ripple out into the world. In the realm of spiritual neuroscience, emotions are understood as the vibrational language of the universe. Just like sound waves or light waves, emotional vibrations interact with the environment and can either attract or repel circumstances and people. Our emotions essentially set the stage for what we are attracting into our lives. The science of emotion is deeply rooted in the workings of the autonomic nervous system, ANS. The ANS regulates involuntary bodily functions, including heart rate, digestion, and respiration. It is also responsible for our fight or flight response, which is triggered when we feel threatened or stressed. When we are in a constant state of stress or anxiety, the ANS is in a state of imbalance, sending signals to the brain that we are in danger. This creates a cycle of negative thinking, poor decision-making, and missed opportunities. The body's internal state of fear or tension creates a vibration that repels the very things we seek, whether it be success, financial gain, or happiness. On the other hand, when we are in a state of calm, relaxation, and emotional balance, our body is in a parasympathetic state, which promotes healing, growth, and receptivity. This state of equilibrium allows us to align with the flow of abundance. It is in this state that we can begin to attract prosperity. The emotions we feel, joy, peace, excitement, and gratitude, are all vibrations that signal the body and mind that we are ready to receive. This energetic alignment with prosperity is crucial to the manifestation process. To begin mastering our emotional state, we must first become aware of the emotions we are currently experiencing. Many of us are unaware of how much our emotions influence our reality. Our feelings become so habitual that we operate on autopilot, reacting to situations without consciously choosing how we want to feel. This is where emotional awareness comes into play. By tuning into our emotions and recognizing the frequency we are emitting, we can start to make adjustments that align with the energy of prosperity. One of the most powerful tools for shifting emotional frequency is breath work. The breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. When we focus on our breath, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps to calm the body and bring us into a state of emotional balance. Deep, intentional breathing can quickly shift us from a state of stress or fear to one of relaxation and openness. By practicing mindful breathing, we can reset our emotional state in real time, allowing us to align with the vibration of abundance. Another effective tool for emotional mastery is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational emotions we can experience. When we focus on the things we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from lack and scarcity and toward abundance and possibility. Gratitude is a powerful emotional state because it sends a message to the universe that we are already in a state of abundance. The more we express gratitude, the more the universe responds by bringing us even more to be grateful for. Visualization also plays a crucial role in aligning our emotional state with prosperity. Visualization allows us to see ourselves already living the life we desire, experiencing the emotions of success, fulfillment, and happiness. When we visualize our goals with vivid detail and emotional engagement, we begin to create a new emotional blueprint. This blueprint is stored in the subconscious mind, and it helps to attract the experiences, people, and opportunities that match the emotional frequency we are emitting. However, emotional mastery is not about suppressing negative emotions or pretending to be happy all the time. It is about recognizing our emotions, understanding their root causes, and then making a conscious choice to shift them. When we experience fear, frustration, or doubt, we must acknowledge these feelings without judgment, knowing that they are temporary and not a reflection of our true potential. Instead of allowing negative emotions to dictate our reality, we can choose to release them and replace them with emotions that support our highest good. The process of emotional mastery is ongoing. It requires consistent effort and practice. There will be days when fear, doubt, or anxiety creep in, and that's okay. The key is to recognize these emotions, honor them, and then consciously shift back into a state of alignment with prosperity. The more we practice emotional awareness and alignment, the easier it becomes to stay in a high-frequency emotional state, one that attracts the abundance and opportunities we desire. As we continue to align our emotional state with prosperity, we will begin to notice shifts in our external reality. Opportunities will present themselves in unexpected ways. We will begin to attract people who support our goals, and our actions will be guided by a deep sense of confidence and clarity. This is the power of emotional alignment, the ability to attract prosperity by becoming a vibrational match to it. The key takeaway is this: emotions are not just reactions, they are active forces that shape our reality. By mastering our emotional state and aligning it with the energy of prosperity, we can attract the life we desire. Prosperity is not just about financial wealth, it is about emotional well-being, spiritual alignment, and the ability to live a life of abundance in all areas. When we tap into the power of our emotions, we unlock the door to a life of limitless possibility. While thoughts and emotions play a significant role in shaping our reality, they are not the only factors that determine whether we manifest prosperity. The true key to bringing our desires into reality lies in the actions we take. Prosperity does not simply appear through wishing or hoping. It is the direct result of consistent, aligned effort. The universe responds to not only the energy we emit, but also the actions we put into motion. This chapter focuses on how to harness the power of aligned action to manifest prosperity and success in all areas of your life. At its core, action is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Without action, no matter how much we think or feel about our goals, they will remain stagnant. Action is what transforms intention into reality. The universe provides the opportunities, but we must be willing to step forward and take action when the time comes. The key here is to ensure that our actions are aligned with our beliefs and emotions. If we are still carrying subconscious doubts or fears about our worthiness of prosperity, our actions may unknowingly sabotage our efforts. This is why it is essential to clear out limiting beliefs and emotional blocks before we take action, ensuring that every step we take is one that moves us closer to our goals. One of the most powerful ways to align action with manifestation is through the practice of micro-actions. Micro-actions are small, manageable steps that propel us toward our larger goals. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the magnitude of a goal, but breaking it down into smaller tasks makes it more approachable. For example, if your goal is to start a business, you don't need to make huge leaps all at once. Start with simple actions like researching your market, writing a business plan, or reaching out to potential clients. Each micro-action you take creates momentum and builds confidence, which in turn encourages you to take more action. Over time, these small, consistent steps lead to big results. Micro-actions are particularly effective because they help us avoid the trap of perfectionism. When we aim for perfection, we often become paralyzed by fear of failure or making mistakes. This fear can prevent us from taking any action at all. By focusing on small steps, we allow ourselves the freedom to make mistakes and learn along the way. This takes the pressure off, making the process of manifesting prosperity feel more like a journey than a destination. In addition to micro-actions, it's important to engage in inspired action. Inspired action is the kind of action that feels intuitive, aligned, and effortless. It is often the result of an internal nudge, a sense of knowing or a creative spark that leads us to take a step in a particular direction. Inspired action is not about forcing something to happen or trying to control every outcome. It is about trusting the process and following the subtle guidance that we receive from within. When we act from a place of inspiration, we align ourselves with the flow of the universe, which naturally brings prosperity into our lives. Inspired action can come in many forms. It might be reaching out to a potential business partner after an intuitive feeling, or it could be signing up for a class that aligns with your long-term goals. The key is to remain open and receptive to these moments of inspiration, knowing that they are guiding you toward your next step. Inspired action requires trust, a trust that the universe is supporting you and that the steps you are taking are leading you toward greater success. One of the challenges many people face when trying to manifest prosperity is the fear of taking the wrong action. This fear often arises from a lack of clarity or confidence. We may feel unsure of which direction to take or worry that we will make a mistake. However, the reality is that no action is ever truly wasted. Every step you take, even if it doesn't lead to immediate success, provides valuable feedback. It teaches you something about yourself, your goals, and your path forward. If you take a step and it doesn't work out as planned, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. In fact, the greatest success often comes after a series of failures and adjustments. Each action you take brings you closer to understanding what works and what doesn't, and that knowledge is invaluable in the process of manifesting prosperity. To cultivate confidence in your actions, it is helpful to adopt a mindset of experimentation. Rather than viewing your actions as all or nothing decisions, see them as experiments. If something doesn't work, you've simply gathered more information that can be used to refine your approach. This mindset shift helps to reduce the pressure of perfectionism and opens the door to more creative solutions. Remember, the universe supports those who are willing to take action, even if it's imperfect action. Another crucial aspect of aligned action is the concept of commitment. Manifesting prosperity requires a steadfast commitment to your goals. It's easy to start a project or pursue a dream, but it's much harder to stay committed, especially when obstacles arise. True commitment means sticking with your goals even when the path gets challenging. It means showing up every day even when you don't feel like it, and continuing to put in the effort, regardless of immediate results. Commitment is what builds momentum, and momentum is what leads to success. To maintain commitment, it's essential to stay connected to your why, the deeper reason behind your desire for prosperity. Your why is the emotional driver that fuels your actions. Whether it's financial freedom, helping others, or achieving personal fulfillment, your why provides the motivation to keep moving forward. When the going gets tough, reconnecting with your why can help reignite your passion and drive. Finally, as you take aligned action, it's important to remain open to feedback and adjust your approach as needed. Prosperity is not a linear process. There will be twists and turns, setbacks, and unexpected opportunities. The key is to stay flexible and adaptable, adjusting your actions based on the feedback you receive from the universe and from your own experience. Feedback helps you course correct and ensures that your actions are always aligned with your goals. In conclusion, the process of manifesting prosperity requires both inner work and outer action. Thoughts and emotions must be aligned with action to create the conditions for success. By taking small, manageable steps, following inspired guidance, and remaining committed to your goals, you can manifest the prosperity you desire. Action is the catalyst that brings your desires into form. When you take aligned action with confidence, clarity, and trust in the process, the universe responds by opening doors, creating opportunities, and supporting you on your journey to prosperity. Manifesting prosperity is not a matter of chance or luck. It is a deliberate, conscious process that requires alignment of the mind, emotions, and actions. As we have explored, prosperity begins within. It is a reflection of how we see ourselves, our beliefs about the world, and the emotional state we cultivate each day. By understanding the neuroscience behind our beliefs and emotions, we gain the power to transform the very fabric of our reality. Neuroplasticity reveals that we can rewire our minds, replacing limiting beliefs with those that empower us, and reshaping our emotional responses to attract abundance. But the work doesn't stop there. Prosperity is not just a mental or emotional state. It requires consistent, aligned action. Every small step, no matter how seemingly insignificant, moves us closer to our ultimate goals. It is through action, guided by inspiration, trust, and clarity, that we manifest the opportunities and success we desire. By combining the power of belief, emotion, and action, we create a life that is abundant in every sense. This journey requires patience and commitment, but the rewards are immeasurable. The key to lasting prosperity is understanding that it is a holistic process, one that is built not on fleeting bursts of effort, but on sustained, consistent practice. When we align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with abundance, we begin to see the world differently. Opportunities will appear where there once were none, and we will recognize them because we have conditioned our minds to see them. Prosperity will not only become a part of our lives, but will become the way we live. As you move forward in this journey, remember that the universe is always in support of your growth. Trust in the process, stay committed, and embrace the abundant life that is waiting for you. Are you ready to take the first step toward unlocking the prosperity that is already within you? Imagine what could happen if you begin aligning your mind, emotions, and actions with your goals, starting today. Don't let doubt or fear hold you back. Now is the time to take action. If you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a step on your journey to abundance. The universe has already set the stage for your success. All it takes is for you to step into it. Keep watching to discover more actionable steps that will help you build a life of limitless possibilities.